Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Hara Chachmadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders here, Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So Esau, Edom, go ahead and getting that groundwork in when he goes to bring about that insurrection upon the believers, as it is written, said he will be sparing none. And here's the proof of that. So go figure. Now they're talking about doing away with religious vaccine exemptions. Now, why do you think that might be? Simple. It's because they're about to start rolling them out. Nothing just happens for no reason. And a lot of people who live in America, or Babylon, even Israelites, believe that they can use the law to get out of whatever jam that the wicked elite may bring forth. Don't understand that this is Satan's world, and Satan's vessel is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And that the spiritual demon Satan gets his orders from the Most High. And the Most High gave this world to Satan. And Satan is going about to do the will of the Lord, using the vessel of the wicked. And these devils, they don't just get these ideas from nothingness, because Satan's giving them the information. And what they're trying to do is make it to where nobody can be spared from their wrath and their agenda. Like it is written, causes all. So you got people, well, I'm retired, so I don't have to worry about that. That ain't got nothing to do with my pension. They're already coming for that. They're making sure everybody is going to fall in line with their agenda. They don't want there to be, oh, but he's exempt. Oh, but they're they get a pass. Nah, he's coming for everybody, even coming from those that are bound in the prison sentence system. So when they're about to roll out more, you know what? So to go ahead and lay the groundwork to go ahead and get people, get the exemption, throw that out. I'm going to just throw that out because it worked back then, back in 2020. Because that was the information we gave. It even worked for me because I was working in the hospital at the time. But even then I knew, I said, shoot, this is something that they have to quote unquote approve. They could just simply deny it. But the Lord had it to where they approved it. But it only lasted for a little bit. And then I already knew in my spirit, I said, they're going to eventually do away with this. You know, they're not going to allow people to find an out to the system. Like you heard, Captain Zariak, when he was questioned about the digital currency, he just marked it off as a conspiracy, as it is something that's not real, giving off the impression that he believes he's going to have the option to just opt out of the New World Order. That digital cash is just an option. He doesn't understand that the devil is going to make sure that you ain't going to have no option. That's why they did away with the gold when they brought the dollar, to make sure you're going to use this one currency, because they don't want there to be any other option. Okay, they want complete control. So they're about to start rolling out more jabs, right? So they're going ahead and getting rid of any exemption, because you're probably thinking, oh, I'll just file a religious exemption. Well, they're working to get rid of it. Like I said, it worked in the past, but they're looking to get rid of it this time.
Anyone who cares about religious liberty has been set ablaze since this post yesterday from Aaron Siri. The Trump admin just filed a brief in the US Supreme Court betraying religious liberty by arguing it is perfectly fine for employers to have policies that allow medical but not religious exemptions to vaccination requirements. He said here is a bit more detail. The Trump admin explained that petitioners are former healthcare workers who contend that New York's now repealed COVID-19 vaccine mandate for healthcare workers, known as Section 2.61, conflicted with Title VII because it foreclosed employers from granting any reasonable accommodations for religious practice, and that Section 2.61 permitted only a medical exemption and did not include a religious exemption. The practical effect of that policy was that New York healthcare workers seeking to decline vaccination for religious reasons were fired. Instead of defending these wrongfully terminated workers, the DOJ nonsensically and shamefully plays word games to characterize their requests as seeking an exemption, which New York law prohibited, instead of an accommodation, an option federal law requires. It then relies on this semantic nonsense to argue that the Supreme Court should not review the Second Circuit's holding that a policy providing for medical but not religious exemptions is legal. Having dealt with scores of religious employees in New York that lost their jobs under this policy, the Trump administration's position is a sharp betrayal. The DOJ should simply have argued the obvious, that Section 2.614 closed any religious exemption and hence should not stand under federal law. Period. That would have taken 1 or 2 pages. Instead, it spends over 20 pages creating a word salad of nonsense to justify New York's and the DOJ's unjustifiable position.
So basically, they wanted to say we're not standing behind those people who lost their jobs. In fact, this shouldn't even go to Supreme Court. Let's just let it fall, because they're about to roll out more and they don't want there to be any out. So understand that they're coming for any possible out that you might think of, or they might quote unquote have on the books currently. When they roll out anything, they don't want there to be any opposition. They don't want there to be any exemptions. He says he called us all, both small and great. And it says that all should worship the image of the beast, lest they should be killed. He said they put out the order that all may be one people, no exemptions. They're coming for all. So you got Israelites thinking they can opt out of the New World Order, opt out of the digital currency. You got Israelites that probably think, oh, I'll just use my religious exemption. They can't come after me. It's against the law. They can throw all of that out. He's looking not to spare a soul. So more info on this guy, right? If you haven't known, this guy's going to break it down. Basically, they took this, what appears to be a Moabite, against his will, and took him in the hospital because they're basically trying to label him that he's crazy, because he's going around and he's trying to warn people that his city or his county is about to turn into a dictatorship. So they came after him, and this could be a warning. Same thing when they come after us. They're putting it in the books now to label people anti-technology extremism. So if you're against the data centers, if you're against the AI, if you're against the New World Order, if you're against the chip, they can categorize you in the same group of people and try to take you against your will and say, what's wrong with you? Why wouldn't you want the chip? Are you one of those AI? Are you one of those anti-technology extremists? Are you one of those ones that believe that this is the mark of the beast? Are you one of those conspiracy nuts? We're going to take you to the hospital, run some tests, and lock you up and try to take you against your will.
So what happens when a genius starts pushing back against the system? A young man in BC was detained and forced into a psych ward after spreading awareness about state overreach in Canada.
This is Dr. Emery. He's a resident psychiatrist, senior resident. So I'm going to certify you under the Mental Health Act. We're going to bring you to hospital, do testing on you, and you're going to talk to a psychiatrist in a controlled environment, because we don't believe that you're going to attend an appointment.
I've never been given a chance to attend an appointment.
His name was Nicholas Wagter, and he was detained by police officers after they claimed he was certified by Dr. Christine Taylor, who for some reason had all of her online profiles completely wiped. She apparently evaluated him at a coffee shop where he was holding a meet and greet to connect with people, when she and her associates ambushed him and didn't even talk to him for 2 seconds before he stormed out.
I'm a physician.
Okay, so I'm going to leave. Because what I'm going to tell you is that what you're doing right now is illegal.
How is it illegal?
What is it? It's an ambush is what you're doing.
It's a mental health assessment, and we need to know what's going on with you.
Yeah.
The weird part is he circled back to the cafe and found that everyone in the cafe seemed to be undercover. One person had a gun, the others had wires and walkie-talkies, like they were setting up a sting operation. They're claiming that in that 2-second interaction, the psychiatrist had enough evidence to certify him. Well, I looked into BC's policy for involuntary admission, and they have 4 conditions before they can admit anyone, and literally only one condition was met. The person is deemed by a doctor not suitable as a voluntary patient. So the state actually gave doctors the power to admit anyone they deem unwell into a psychiatric ward without their consent. See, here's the kicker. This all happened after Nicholas had been going around to a bunch of MPs' offices telling them that the government has been passing authoritarian clauses into law, which we all know, that could destroy our sovereignty. This is the document he gave them. It's called China-Vancouver Attempt, where he says China and the corrupt Canadian government are trying to turn Vancouver into a Chinese dictatorship police state. In the document, he lists authoritarian bills like C8, C9, C15, and C21. He also says Carney is colluding with China to sell Vancouver to them by First Nations bands and DRIPA. This is not a crazy person. He graduated from Western University in biophysics. In 2025, he actually wrote a paper on the unified theory of gravity, aka quantum gravity, the combination of Einstein.
So they came up, they tried to trap him up, and then they basically fought on him with the cops and basically said, look, you're coming with us. That's what they said. For him trying to warn the people of what's to come and trying to stop the police state. You know, because if, let's say he is a Moabite, you know, he has more leverage in this world than you could say us. He can get around more, he can get through more doors more because they'll open the door for him. And they basically, you could tell there's like, this guy's a problem. He is spreading too much awareness of what's going on. I got an idea. Let's call him crazy. We want to see what's going on with you. What's going on? What's the matter? Do you think someone's after you? Are you a conspiracy theory? Are you a conspiracy nut? You're coming with us. Same thing, man. They're working on getting rid of the exemptions. Every step is intentional to attack against you, your rights, and your freedom. And they want all options. They want all exits sealed, closed, to funnel everybody into one box, basically like cows to a slaughterhouse, and say you're gonna have to take this chip or else. And if you don't take it, we can put you to death. Or if you don't take it, you must be one of those conspiracy nuts who believe in that this is some conspiracy. You must be anti-sim, you're anti-technology. And they'll come up with whatever they want to come up to get rid of what they will call the threat to the New World Order. So, as it says here in 2 Ezra 16 and 70, there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Insurrection means a violent uprising, like a militia group specifically targeting out a sect of people, which it says here, upon those that fear the Lord. Because faith is the number one weapon against fear. And this devil, everything that he's going to do, his strength will be fear and darkness and deception. So if he needs the people to be afraid, and he knows that fear is going to be their number one tool, and that through that they'll listen to whatever they have to tell them. So they'll say, come take these jabs, come take this chip. They know that it's the faith of those who have faith in Yahweh Shah that's going to say, nah, I'm not afraid, man. I'm not going for that. And it's that faith that can be contagious and that can spread. And they don't need that. They need people afraid. They need people to comply. This is why eventually censorship's going to come, oppression, and violent uprising, man. They could just send the cops after you. They could just come get you. We want to talk. We want to talk. You said something on the internet that we didn't, that was questionable. We want to talk. We're medical examiners. We're gonna take you in and question you. See, and now they trying to get rid of the exemptions. So when they roll out more, your employers can say, we don't have to approve this. The only thing that's gonna work is what they would say a medical exemption, which means they have more control, because now they can just make it to where your doctors won't give you that exemption. You say, well, I'll just go to my doctor and get it. Your doctor may not get it because they're going to go after the doctors first. They incentivize hospitals and these people to go along with the agenda. It says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, said the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So, point is, sparing none. He's going after all the exemptions, all the so-called opt-outs, sparing none. There are a lot of people believe in the so-called amendments of Bill of Rights. They're looking to do away and take away all of that, man. Freedom of speech, all of that. They're coming to take all that away. They ain't sparing none. You understand? So every bill that's passed, everything that they doing is because they already got it planned out and what's about to roll out. And this is why the people are seeing it, but they do it to everything in haste. And it's because they're doing everything in haste is that why everybody's seeing it, because they're about to roll it out and they want to make sure nobody's going to be able to get out of this. So go ahead and consider now, right? You better be willing to walk away from your job or whatever the case is if they deny you whatever it is you think you can do to opt out. You know, this is why the Lord told us to be like pilgrims, because these things can happen like that. So with that, shalom.